I fucking hate guys sometimes. I really do. All right, let me tell you the recipe for a douchebag is alone. Thinks he's better than everyone. Wants to prove it and turf with everybody. He goes around pushing other people to the side and down, saying their ideas, their thoughts aren't good enough. I'm guilty of this myself a little bit. But it's like, especially a guy turfing thing. Guys will show up on your page going, "What? No, everything you're saying doesn't make any sense. You look stupid. I think you're wrong." Like guys just do that. It's like, where'd you come from? Well, you came from your own fucking home going, I'm gonna fucking bring this guy down a little. I think this guy's a clown. You know, that's how guys are. I fucking hate guys. It's all showing off in front of girls. It's all turfing. 100% of it is turfing. It's not rational. It doesn't help anything. It's not for me. It's 100% for you. It's incredibly egoic and selfish to go around turfing like that, and it's annoying. Don't do it to me because I'm not the type of guy. I won't give you a fight face to face. I will do some shit on the side to ruin you that you don't see coming. You know what I mean? Because I'm not out there picking fights. I'm not out there picking fights. You can watch me all day. I am an impeccable person. I am impeccably kind, patient. I know how to stop and talk to people. I give my love to the community. I am not a bad person, but there are guys that I can understand why the biblical authors wanted to clip all the foreskins off babies. It's because men are fucking annoying. Get your shit under control. Stop talking out your ass. You are not going to use me for your social climbing. Don't use other people for social status. Don't use other people for social status. If you come up to me and you go, "I don't like this guy, he's a clown," what you're doing is you're trying to earn your turf and your right to be with your girl. You're trying to do that, but that's animal, and we don't do that anymore. We actually throw people in jail for that shit because it's annoying. It's actually stupid. Like, we have better things to do. I guarantee the people going around going, "Oh, I don't get it, I don't want to listen, it doesn't make any sense." They're not saying it because it's true. They're saying it to hate. They're saying it to hate. They literally are just like, it happens all the time. Guys will roofie girls' drinks, right? There's like, here they catch them all the time, fucking putting pills in people's drinks, fucking doing whatever else. Don't think people are good. They're out to look out for number one, and most of them feel a sense of urgency. They gotta get it no matter what. So yeah, I hate that. I hate that. It's always some young guy trying to look cool. He's like, "You're not better than me." And he's like, you're gonna all this. But the problem is that he's doing it because of him and his hormones. He's not doing it because he's really doing that. And especially if you do it online, like, if you're actually a real alpha, I probably respect you. But most of you aren't real alphas. Like, you can actually look at ape enclosures, right? The silverback gorilla will have a tiny ass male come up to him and try to fucking pick on him, and he will run away. He will move away, and that young man will go like, "Oh, I'm cool. I got him." And he doesn't let anyone watching from the side is like, this gorilla could crush this kid. But the kid is like, "I gotta fucking pack up. I gotta pack up. I gotta test him. I gotta test him," and it's annoying. It's annoying, right? Because the moment that gorilla strangles you and puts you in the water, you're like, you're just waking up to your own dumbass. But until then, you don't know you're being a dumbass. You're like, "Oh, you're fake. Oh, I don't like you. Oh, you're dumb." Or the people going, "I love circumcision. What are you talking about?" Okay, yeah, right. Maybe you've grown up with it. I don't know. I don't dig that shit. It's awful. It's a feeling. It has neurons in it, and it has a purpose. Like, what more do you need to know? And every scientist has said it's absolutely barbaric. The problem with the Bible is that the historicity of the earth goes before what the Bible says. So, that kid, everyone examining this in history will be able to go, "We know exactly who just pissed you off." Um, and it's just some fucking entitled douchebag. You're not better than me. I was pretty. I was pretty when I was your age, and I got over it because it doesn't matter. It's vain. A lot of people have mentioned it's vain. Vain means partly helpless. It means it's like it doesn't do anything for you. There's tons and tons of people who, in their attractiveness, have done nothing but make the lives worse for everybody and had very little payoff as a result. And so you got to understand that you're not clowning me. You're not bringing me down. You're not making me seem like a joke. You're seeming like a joke. If I'm talking about the genital mutilation of kids and calling for its prohibition and you're making jokes out of that, I just started deleting the comments. I don't want that energy on my page. You're not my friend. You're not my friend. And trying to clown me and trying to bring me down, well, it makes no sense. That you fake, I could take you. No, you couldn't. You're behind a screen, you idiot. And everybody knows that when it comes to like social dynamics, a real alpha isn't out there beating a person who's actually strong enough to kick everybody's ass is almost never doing it. He's like, I'm gonna eat my cereal and I'm gonna sit around. And if you talk to him, he'd be nice to you. He would be polite. You know, it would be a lot better. But yeah, tiny men, tiny sexually insecure men, you gotta try to throw people under the bus all the time, everywhere they go. Not good enough for me, not good enough for me, which I'm kind of guilty of that. I gone a few TikTok rolls where I'm just like saying shit. I bet he didn't even listen. I bet he heard what I said like 5 seconds. He goes like, oh, what you're saying doesn't make any sense. Yeah, young men. I mean, maybe I'll regret it. Maybe I'll like reincarnate later where there's no more circumcision and all the men are fucking crazy apes. Because that's what they want to do. They just want to beat stuff up and it's chimp-ile. You know, the chimpanzees will fucking gang up and tear each other apart limb from limb. They'll actually eat each other. They'll just like pull pieces of their body apart and eat each other. And that is not what I'm going for. And so that would be the terrible irony of ending circumcision is I find out men truly are these wild monsters and maybe God truly did command it. He's like, all right, I know who you are. I'm going to get your attention right now. Take the piece of his skin off right here. It's extra. Trust me, I'm God. I know it is. It's going to shock him and it'll get his attention for his entire life. And we're going to tell him he has to follow the law. No stealing other people's women. Honor your parents. No false idols. You know, don't put anything between you and God. And no murdering and no stealing. Well, most male activity ends with all of those. They won't have any place for any of that. But you know, it's also if you got circumcised, the book telling you to honor your parents and obey your Lord your God, it pretty much takes away your choice in the matter. And so what I'm speaking is from just a general level of trauma and material discomfort. Is I hated circumcision and it's been done. I don't. Maybe it's stopped recently, but it's been done to millions of babies, and I haven't done any research about it because it's honestly queasy. It's honestly queasy, but yeah, I just hate guys. Like as a guy, I fucking hate guys. Some of them care. Some of them see like the enlightened society we're going to. Other ones don't. They want to put down. They want to step on everybody they see and make themselves they're gonna go around clowning everybody, then they're gonna go swing for their girl and swing out and miss because they have 30 curses following them. You know, I've seen my curses work. I don't curse anybody except people who piss me off and they always get it. They always get it, you know. It's how it is. I do a lot of blessings. You know, I do a lot of blessings. I bless a lot of my friends consciously. You know, and when I'm trying to do something serious and you're trying to make me seem like a joke, I would fight you. I would fight you. I would pop your fucking teeth out of your face. You know. I'm a chokeout king too. I'm not easy to fight because you can't strike me forever. I'm a good grappler. I'm gonna fucking you're gonna be having a dream and you're gonna wake up getting peed on. So yeah, I would piss on a person I knocked out. But some people are just like they're just literally chaos. Like they're not doing it for any good. They're not doing it for any good reason. They're just causing chaos. They're just like you shit. I didn't hear anything you like right? You do like a 10-minute video and he goes, "I didn't understand a word of this." Are you you know? And it's like you didn't understand a word of that? Am I supposed to believe you? Am I supposed to care what you said? And what I just do is I go like I'm gonna block his comment, and if he comes back, he's going to get fucking. I don't let people disagree with me. I don't let people disagree with me. You are not gonna knock me off my base. I am not moving. I am not moving from this hill. Like you're just not. I had a great experience with an army ranger. Right, army ranger goes on top of the hill. You got to be able to sneak up within 3 feet of him to shoot him. He's not allowed to see you until you get within, you know, or he is allowed to see you, and so he like, Yeah, he has his own thing, and you got to be able to sneak up. And I was able to fucking do it. I was able to fucking do it. I fucking won. So yeah, you're not gonna get me. You're not gonna get me. And anyone who tries to use me for social standing, it's gonna cost you way more than you think you're getting. If I detect you're bringing me down to bring yourself up, you want to fight? The answer is he can't win. He knows he can't, so he's got to fucking make someone. He's got to get into their head, make him illegitimate. That's the thing that pisses me off about like Jake Paul. That is 100% Jake Paul. Jake Paul is everyone else should go down so that I can go up, and it's annoying. We hate doing societies that way. That's partly why circumcision was created. Circumcision in the law was said, hey little man, don't you fucking think with this thing. Here, we're gonna make this thing uncomfortable for you, and we're gonna tell you what to do. Because the other problem is that a guy who just goes out and just like gets a bunch of chicks pregnant, that's a huge problem because it takes resources to keep that. It takes a lot more than what's freely available because it ain't no religion. It ain't no religion. It ain't no kumbaya furnishing bread. The priests ask for fucking donations for a reason. They don't have a magic item generator like the Bible says it is. And they don't. Nobody has a magic item generator. Anyone pulls something out of nowhere, he's a magician. He's used stagecraft. It's not real. And so the problem I have with that is that when I'm trying to do something genuinely good and you think it's your chance to just like turf and clown, you're a fucking dumb shit. And I'm not going to let you get away. I'm going to fucking, black magic label you. And the thing about curses, the really good thing about a curse is a curse forces everyone else to curse the person. So the sign that you're cursed is nobody likes you. Face value, when you come around, everyone's pissed off at you, or you're pissing everyone off. But anyway, yeah, there's a lot of really like you're telling a young man in his normal way should have some pride in his society. He should be known in his town. He should have a girlfriend or two, and he should have like a good like ground. A lot of these young men today, they don't got no home identity, or they do. It's too much of a pod. They don't think anything outside can reach in and get them, and that's where I like magic. And magic can reach wherever you are. It doesn't matter what your social status is. Doesn't matter how much money you have. And the thing is that magic's not blind. Beings run it, and so all you got to do is you got to convince the beings that do that to do that for you. And I know a lot about that. I know a lot about that. But yeah, um, rude, pissing me off. Guys are territorial. You wanna talk to guys about that? Yeah, guys are fucking territorial. I noticed with my grandpa and my priest that uh, they'll laugh, but they're always trying to wedge themselves as the winner. And then if you ever overtly not try to become the winner, but if you ever overtly do what I call try to get the girl, try to get the good girl that all of them like, right? There's always like a few loser chicks, and there's like a really like super fine woman, and she's so hot, but you know all the guys just fight over her. They fight over her. And it's just annoying. Annoying. It's like this constant presence. You're never gonna get this kind of douchey aspect out of guys where they're like, "You're a clown. You're no good because I'm great because I'm fighting for a chick," And so it's just annoying. It's just annoying. Wars have been fought over it. In a way, I agree with circumcision. Let's say God is just like, let's say there's trillions of planets and infinite variety, and there's like, we might be the only planet that has flies, right? Flies, millions of years of evolution here. You're not going to go to a ton of other planets and see a ton of other flies. We may find when we go to an exoplanet that, yeah, we have insects, mammals, fish, and all these things. They may have totally different arrangements, but then again, they may have identical arrangements. It might be possible to, no, it would have to be unique. It would have to be like they'd have to have 4 or 5 unique animal groups all to their own, you know. And there might be, because of geometry and material science, that there's just there's just good working things and things that don't work. Just like how a harmonic, if you play a harmonic, try to get the world to vibrate around you. That's proof of harmony theories, theories that everything has a vibrational tone to it. Like you can go play singing bowls and get other things to start singing with you. That's totally real. But anyway, I don't like these young clowns on my page, dude. Young people trying to make me a joke is probably the most annoying thing in the world. I first off, fuck you and die. Hope your life gets ruined. Hope you get circumcised again. You know, I'm trying to do a good thing here, and they're making it about how they can tell a fucking joke and delegitimize me. So yeah, no, I'm gonna delegitimize them. Fuck them. It's a fight. It is Earth. It's a fight. It's always been a fight. Why? There's like one or two good chicks. There's like, only a little bit of material wealth. Like, if I had to walk around this desert to find food, I would die. I would die. It takes, water processing and material food manufacturing to keep me fed. So, don't go thinking this place is like infinite abundance. Yeah, if you want to manifest something, you got to believe in the light of it, but you can't go and be like, yeah, it's just douchey. I just hate guys. I just hate guys. They all have to fight over who's the best all the time. They do. And they do it in places that have no business. It's like in their head, it's like in their wiring. They're like chemically wired to be aggressive little territorial douchebags. No guy wants to share. Here's the way the tribe works, right? There's one alpha. He's got all the girls. Which, by the way, the Corpster was not the alpha. I saw him pee his pants. He's a crying little bitch. Fuck that guy. Anyway, yeah. See, I grew up in a warrior cult. I did. I'm a soldier. The soldier is basically told that, we don't want to ever hear you've used what we've taught you on somebody who is like weaker than you. It better be life and death. So, I mean, like somebody fucking, some, some little joke tries to pick a fight with a silverback, he's not gonna, the silverback is gonna ignore him. The silverback is gonna look at him and go, if I fight this guy, I will kill him. I can't fight him. And the little, where are you going? You afraid of me? No, shut up. I don't want to hurt you. It's annoying. But yeah, men, I totally get circumcision. I don't think it's the word of God, but I understand why someone would want to do that. And it's just because men are annoying. Men are annoying. They want to. You can't exist as a guy. As a guy, like it is true. You want no guys to bother you. Walk around in a freaking, wear nothing but a loincloth and don't say anything ever. They might ignore you. But if you make any noise at all in the world, every guy's got to fucking take a fucking issue with it. They do. They have to fucking try to show that they exist and they can compete with you because a rival mate or a mate might notice them. You know what I mean? It's annoying. We made marriage for that reason too, so no guys. Because, like, Bill Gates, right? Bill Gates had engineered his whole like he engineered his school. I'm sure the programming, I'm sure the reason I've been online for years and I've never met a girl online that I liked ever. It's never happened. And I used to think it was because I wasn't good enough. And I used to think it was because, all that, but it's probably just some programmers don't let it happen. They're probably have an AI that looks through the webcam, goes, get me every real true single female, listen to what she says, and then they have all the single girls who are, open, available, and of age, and all of their profiles get seen by them, and then no other guy ever gets to. Like, if you're not on the programmer side, you're simply never, ever, ever online going to meet a chick who's into you, ever. Now, granted, I know they're not into me because I don't have piles of cash, at least not that they can see. But no, it really is true that Bill Gates, like Jeffrey Epstein, right? The reason they call it a model is that's what they want you to be. They want you to be this they want you to be this ultra skinny girl. The reason there's economic inequality is because you can pay a poor girl $300 to suck your dick, but you can't pay a rich girl to do that. Rich girls would never do that. So they want all the women to be poor. And so, yeah, there's people who harvest girls from society for the sexual satisfaction of rich people, and there's a few methods in society to keep them fresh, such as no touching, such as disease theories, such as just a bunch of things, a bunch of things. And as a guy, like if I'm not the one pulling those levers, and I've never been, you basically don't have a chance. You basically don't have a chance. Like, I'm never, ever, ever gonna meet a single girl on TikTok who was born a woman. They'll give you trannies. They won't give you real women. And it's because whoever programmed it selfishly thought of themselves. And this is the truth. I want to put this truth down as just a true nature of men. Men will all throw all the men under the bus so that they might win with women. 100%. You can put that down as a material law. No man gives a shit about any other man's relationship. To him, that girl is his. To him, that's his girl. And that's how they all think. And they're going to fight for it. Well, as we pointed out, it's caused a hell. Nobody likes that. So that's what religion was, is circumcision. You cut a piece of the man's dick off and bind him to the law so that he fucking behaves himself. So he's not out there trying to steal other people's women. So he's not showing up with a fight ready to clown people. Look, I hate that. He's a guest and he's clowning the host because he wants to take away his stuff. Stop that. That is so evolution. That is so fucking millions of years of like what's successful, what's not. Well, being nice is only successful if everybody does it. If being nice doesn't work, it doesn't work because one person wasn't. And I'm fortunate with humans. They react to the bigger, scarier presence. Humans do not follow what's right. They follow what's scariest, you know. But anyway, I just want to voice this for history and for the upload is, I fucking hate men. Circumcision was invented by a man. You know, all the men think it's their job to succeed sexually, but not all of them are going to do it. Life is brutal. Every single one of us, 100%, represents an unbroken line of sexual success for hundreds of millions of years. But not every single one of us will be successful, and this is why we have, like, the material evolution that we have. But evolution is definitely real. It's definitely real that who a person is unique, and they can, people with remarkable traits pass them on. Remarkable successful traits like blue eyes. Oh, a blue-eyed person got all the breeding. All the breeding. I wish I hadn't listened to religion and just had as many kids with chicks, because that would have been the most fun, right? Just have all these kids with chicks. But the problem is that that's how famines get started. If you have a bunch of women and you can't raise those kids to adulthood, now those women are other people's problems. And so I say don't encourage that. If you find a hit it and quit it, you find a guy who's just like dumping it out and then not like sticking around, cancel him. Cancel him, throw him in jail. You have to sit there and it's 7 generations back, 7 generations forward. For humans to be grounded, you have to be thinking about your children, their kids, their kids, their kids, and you have to be thinking about your ancestors all the way back as well. And that's the right way to do it. It is not the right way to do it to just materially win in the short term, because that's how you have starving people, wars, squalor, kids that come from households that have no plan to care for them are universally disruptive. They are. They cost a lot of time, attention, and material, and there's really no way to ever make them what we call good. And so, in a way, like, arguing against circumcision proved it. Like, keep these fucking bastards clipped, right? Like, don't let them feel at peace and at ease to do whatever they want. They should be thinking about what God has in store for them, you know what I mean? But the problem with the Bible is that if the historicity is off, if human history goes before Adam and Eve, and if the Great Flood is a hoax, like the problem with the Great Flood is that if the whole world was underwater for 1 year at a definite time, that would have physical evidence for it. and there's just no such thing that we can point towards, so that means it didn't happen. Or we're just missing the obvious place it happened and no one can see it because they don't think it exists. Or maybe it's protected by a miracle or something. Who knows? Anyway, yeah. Men, you are annoying. Not all of you. Not all of you. I've had bros. But I'll admit, the moment a guy's my friend, my mind is like, oh shit, I could fucking get it in this girl. I could get it in this girl. You know, it's really shitty. There are people who are like they are through evolution just cheaters. They're always going to be a cheater through evolution. They're going to slip it in on the side with your girl, and because nature doesn't care how it happens, it only cares how it's successful. It only cares if it works, right? It only matters if it works. And so I don't know, it's annoying because we are big into personhood. Like, I'm a person, I matter. But let me tell you, being a person, you don't attract anybody else. A lot of people have talked about this. You want to have anybody else really want to talk to you? Leave lots and lots of space for them to talk. Then you'll. It's all time wasters. But yeah. And that's why, I mean, aliens are definitely real, but that's why they don't visit us, is they don't like us. Aliens have visited me. Aliens, when my alien night came, a bunch of people came together to organize it with me, and we all met each other spontaneously last minute, and there were like lights around each other's heads. Like, I was literally seeing lights swimming around everyone's heads, and I never saw that before, never saw it after. And I went out, but in order to gain full ET contact and meet God, I had to place a sword down. I had a sword and I wrapped it in paper and I said, I'm giving this away. I'm giving away using this. And that was the moment I met the aliens. That was the moment that they came to me to show me their presence, was when I gave up barbarism. And so the secret with ETs is they're here. They've been watching the whole time. They just don't like us or trust us because we're barbarians. We're a chaos ape species. You know, we would wreck things if anybody had the tech that we have. Oh my God, we would ruin the cosmos. You know, they don't trust us. You think nukes are bad? There are things way worse than nukes. You know. But they don't think we're ready because we're a fucking ape species. We're a fucking all for me, get angry and fight, turf. All these guys are turfing. All these guys are turfing. Every guy is turfing. Every guy is turfing all the time. It's annoying, and they just don't want us in space with them because we're fucking annoying. It's annoying to be a man, and I'm not that way. I'm really not that way. I'm really not. But I have been, you know, maybe I'm a little guilty getting some of these kids coming back going, oh, you're river. Maybe I've done that to others. I probably have. But that came from unhappy home, you know what I mean? Not getting my needs met, which, you know, nature doesn't owe you a girl. Like, I've noticed, like, and girls, like, some people go, oh, girls will pick who they fall in love with. Nope. They want to see them fight and they want to pick the better. They don't care. They don't want to waste their time raising the young of someone inferior or someone sickly. They don't want to do it if you want a good chick. There's plenty of terrible women that will, you know, mate with you and hang out with you, but they just basically suck. They stink and they're not any good. You know, you want to have a really good wife. You need the best girl on earth who is like big butt, huge tits, thin in places, gorgeous, motherly, effective, right? That's what you want. You don't want to be like, and even then it's not like the reason you like that is so you meet with it. And the reason sex is so euphoric is because nature has rewarded people who like doing it. They exist. If you want your genetic line to be in humanity 100 million years from now, you got to put it out often and in many different places. And so it's rewarding cuckolding because it's like if they don't know it's not their kid, they're going to raise it anyway. And it's kind of fucked up. And yeah, turfing constantly fighting for chicks to prove oneself. Oh, it's a mess. All mating games. And the reason it matters is that it is not easy and free to raise a kid. It takes money, time, attention, and effort. You can't just like be like, and dads who go, well, I'm gonna take a woman and isolate her to keep her mine. Doesn't work either. You really got to be the social king. You want to be a guy who has lots of girls and is respected. You got to be a social king. You got to be able to fight guys and beat them. You got to be able to just knock guys out in fights. Like, you do. You got to be a giant brute. And you've also got to have the social wherewithal to keep providing for them. Well, that's promoted raiders. Like, you think for a moment any of those girls that were so-called raped or that got hit by a conqueror weren't immediately into the conqueror? Like, everyone they ever had a problem with is gone, and now they're getting all this special attention. And yet historians go, oh, they raped them all, so that no women go out there and do that, right? You got these lies making into science. They go like, oh, the vagina is only 4 inches deep. That's been publicized on several accounts that they've said that. But we know, looking at porn, that's obviously not true. It's not true by a mile. But some poor cuckold scientist is like, he's willing to lie and throw real science out the window just to give himself a chance publicly. That's how people are. That's how people are. It's desperate. It's desperate. Like, you got Bill Gates. He's going to Pedo Island with Jeffrey Epstein. And pedophilia is not 14. If the child wants to do it, it shouldn't be a crime. If the child goes out there on its own, it shouldn't be a crime. But as many old men have pointed out, the reason it is it's not hard to manipulate people, and it's it can have disastrous results, such as some people go, I'm not ashamed of pregnancy, but that's what it's about. It's about making more people and, the privilege of who gets to do that. And so marriage was the idea to share. Is go, you get one man, one woman. We are a coupling species. You can have as many kids as you want, but you have to provide for all of them. And we'll help you do that by joining our society. We'll have growers and shippers and clothes manufacturers and defenders and constructors and whatever you are, and you can have as big as a family with you want with whoever agrees to be with you. Um, that's the American way, but currently it's like, just get as much as you can from whoever you can. It's just kind of like, Anyway, yeah, sexual competition. It's real, and it's programmed in each of us to care about it a lot, because the people who didn't care about it didn't survive. You know, it's like, if you ever have a person who's like an egalitarian, he doesn't want anything to do with that. Yeah, he might be a little good for society, or like, how many famous greats marry ugly ass women? They really married down. They don't get it. And it's because they have so much competition to not marry hot girls, right? Because guys are automatically threatened. Like, you're talking about a great guy and he's getting the women that he likes, that they like. Ugh. Yeah, they'll tolerate it if it looks like she's into him, but it's like, yeah, guys are turfing all the time. All the time. All the time. And humans are always disqualifying each other. I don't have any love for anyone I've ever known. They all eat and shit. What do you expect them to do? This is an animal, right? Annoying. Yeah, the way nature does it too. Like, you wouldn't plan out, oh, we're gonna raise this kid. Humans do that. We feel a deep need to do that. But yeah, not every. It's just like, hop on back of her. She presented and you went up and gave her, and then she's gonna fucking handle the kid and everything like that on her own. But we recently went toward, the man sticks around. No more just pump and dump. No more just letting her deal with it. You gotta defend her and your kid and from people who would attack them. So it is different strategies, right? Mate as much as you can and just let whoever comes out come out, or have a family and have a structure like a marriage where two people are like officially together, and then they merge their life together. That's the ideal of my culture, but the reality of biological evolution is still present. It's like, uh, whoever fights the most for it and makes the most noise and gets it wins. It doesn't matter if it was right or wrong. Nature does not care if it was right or wrong. Nature doesn't care if you went and cut the heads off all your competitors and used a bunch of soldiers As long as your kids make it generations ahead, you won. You're the one who won the life game. And yeah, it's Game of Thrones, man. You got circumcision cults. You got people changing each other's dicks to try to get some normal behavior out of men. Because it is, I mean, from the aristocrat point of view, you don't want a whole populace of guys who are out there touching the girls you might like. You want them to be like really seriously like cuckolded to marriage. Like you're gonna have your head down. And if you're ever that way, no girl will like you because it's not alpha. It's not alpha. It's not cool. She's not asking for that. What do girls write down for their guys? Oh, they want a fucking prince. They want a king. They want someone who's powerful, who other men are afraid of, and so she feels safe, and who has the best to offer, right? And the best offering. It's kind of sad. But it is all about I mean, sex is 100% about kids. We all like it because if you don't like it, you wouldn't have had them. It wouldn't have happened, and you wouldn't exist. And so, yeah, it is like people go, "Oh, humans are good." No, humans are the result of what's been successful in biological evolution. They are not what we call a rational or grounded or even right species. And so, like these guys, when they come to try to clown me, it's all for social standing. It's all to get that little bump up, and I don't let them. I fight them, and half the time that these guys disagree, they don't even disagree with what I'm saying, but they have to turf anyway. They have to be like, those bucks with horns. They put their horns down and try to fight literally anybody. You know, like it's a doorpost. I can hit it with my horns for a while. Yeah, but it is true. The night I met aliens was the night that I put a sword down in a ritual and promised peace. And then I got all these contacts. They're really cool. The skills, the technological powers aliens have are absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning what they can actually do. But they don't like us because we're not a civilized species. We're really not. We're really like dirty. We're mammals. We are glorified rats. We're glorified rat monkeys. You know what I mean? Like we're not terribly offensive, but what I would want for future human species would be I won't say, but yeah, this is my rant for history, called "I Hate Men." Why I hate men is they're just annoying. They're just annoying. There's no guy is your friend. Every guy is a competition for a girl. You shouldn't. Yeah. But if you can't work together as guys, society falls apart. So we're in a conundrum. Like, how do we get done what we need to get done without having everyone tear themselves to pieces? Well, it's marriage and sharing, right? Marriage and sharing. Anyway, yeah. Whatever is successful is what nature cares about. It doesn't care if it was right or wrong. So, anyway, I've been good. One of the things I realized growing up was like feeling lonely or unloved or in like a low energy situation was I made myself promise I would never do that to anybody. So like one of the good things about me or the way that I think is that even though it may not be good for long-term survival, I know how hard it can be to be alive without like means or the amount of social contact you want. And so I just vowed never to do that to anybody. And I thought, would I want some woman to be thinking about an abortion or not, or to be, raising a kid alone somewhere, or to be paying child support? It's like I just decided not to. I've got good pull-out game. I've had girlfriends that had birth control. And it's affected breeding, but it's like for all the reason you like nutting, the reason a guy can have sex every day is he can impregnate literally an endless number of women, and that's why we have so many social controls on guys, like circumcision. It's just hold your shit together. We don't need a bunch of uncared for babies. We need babies that have means and supplies, because then what you have is you have all the women applying for welfare for their kids, and all the men who caused that aren't paying for any of it. The state is, and it's like so we as like a culture of my time, we hate that. We do. There are a few things I've seen a few people agree on, and it is like overly aggressive, dominating territorial men are actually despised because they're kind of a clown show. they're wrecking a bunch of shit and pissing everyone off for the only reason being their own testosterone, their own feeling of they want to rule the world. But there is a truth with humans too that if you want to cow a bunch of people, you got to show those traits. And yeah, but it's constant. It's constant. Like if you're an alpha, you will never have rest from people coming up trying to test you. Never, never. You're never gonna. They're gonna be constantly bothering you. It's annoying. Yeah, yeah. It helps with like biological evolution does help understand this place. Like, why does pain suck? It's because your body doesn't want you to feel like you can cause any errors to it, or it's gonna go wrong, right? You're gonna break it. There are people who swallow razor blades. If they couldn't go to a fucking hospital, they'd be out of the gene pool. You know what I mean? Why would you do that? What are you? Oh my god, I can't even imagine people. What a thing. Ugh. But yeah, then the personality identity crashes when you have 8 billion people. Like what? We all have the same name. My name's Chris. How many Chris's are there? 100 million. There's a lot of them. Maybe 22 million would be a conservative estimate. It's just not like here I am talking, thinking I matter, and there's 8 billion of me on the planet right now. It's like, yeah, but it is true though that I only met aliens when I did a peace ceremony. They don't want, and many people have talked about this, they don't talk to or show their presence to people who are barbarians. They are afraid of that. They don't want you to know about them. They don't. They don't want that. They go like, do we want these chaos apes flying around with dematerialization rays anywhere they want to in the universe? And they said no. They said we don't trust them. And there are good humans that they like, basically humble, kind people that they do talk to because they find them easier to communicate with and palate. And they have great conversations. Like the things aliens will talk to you about are very fascinating. They have great views. It's the freshest view I ever had from anything was my ET conversation. But yeah, they have powers. They have powers that are absolutely surprising. You'll be shocked when you see them. But anyway, yeah. Whew. But yeah, I hate the territorial guys. Every guy I knew growing up, my dad was that way too, was a fucking snake. Like they're not your friend. They don't like you. You can't be friends with them. That's why maybe gay is a weird evolution because if as a society, it's easier to raise our young and have food if everyone's working together because then you have shippers, you have growers, you don't got to raid all the time to get anything. And the male dominated societies of like one alpha male, like a Genghis Khan, and then you have his other men aren't getting laid. They're his soldiers, and then his all the concubines are his. That's great in all sarcasm, but it comes at the cost of societal stability. Is that anytime he needed anything, he had to go raid and find it because he wasn't building societies. He was just taking societies. He was taking what they grew. He was taking what they had. He took their food. He took ride in with warriors and steal it. That's the hour of the day for a lot of successful lines of human evolution, but it's inefficient because it's better just to have people working together because then you're not wrecking lives. And so we humans we do like the people that grow and produce, and we like the people that are kind and charitable, and we like the people that are easy to work with. We like people who don't just dump trash. I've been a person who picks up trash. I've never dumped trash ever in my life. I think I've thrown an angry bottle here and there, but I've never, you know what I mean, like drinking in the wilderness and you throw your, yeah, it's not good, but glass will get polished over time. It'll be a treasure for some being someday. I do think that. I think like old worn glass, especially, is going to be interesting. There's going to be a ton of it in America, but yeah, we throw people in jail and we prevent people from doing things we don't like. You know, we want when somebody gets somebody pregnant that the man sticks around and raises the kid, and you know, you can have as many kids as you want to with that woman. We don't want people who start a relationship, ditch it, let her deal with it, her and her family, because that might be like okay in one or twos, but with society doing it, it'd be absolutely chaos. And so we don't want that. We want people that love those they know, are good to people they know. But the problem with men is that it's like nature doesn't want to get rid of men fighting it out for the chicks. Nature likes that because it automatically disqualifies weak men. Weak men, disabled men, men who have problems, they are just not. No chick is ever going to show up and fuck them because they don't want to raise their kid. They got a disease, right? She doesn't want to raise the young of a person who has a problem. She wants someone who's virile, fit, who's a leader, who is, conquering, who makes moves. Like, America's fit for conquering right now. It's weaker than it's ever been, but, people can't figure out what sort of leader they want. It'd basically be the leader they're most afraid of is the one they'd go with, which is like Arnold Schwarzenegger, which is interesting for human psychology. To show humans movies of you killing millions of people is wise if you want to not have problems with people because you think you're going to be as smart as Sylvester Stallone in person. He's Sylvester Stallone. He's not on a movie screen anymore. He's conscious and right in front of you. You're going to be blinded by the light. That's what people say when they meet celebrities. They get blinded by the light. They go like, this guy, they're more on than you can even know. When you're seeing them on TV, they're with the worst enemies of their mind, but that's not going to be you when you meet them. So, yeah, I didn't know Sylvester Stallone was such a good artist until recently. He really is amazing. He's really good. It'd be funny. Yeah, you guys do have a society that you have extremely creative, extremely pleasant, extremely great people, and they can struggle for their whole lives to connect with a meaningful source of self-sustainment. Like, it is a little bit of a problem right now, especially if you want to have nice things and not just a bunch of warlords and waste. Because warlords, we don't like warlords because, well, warlords, that's why George Washington's a hero. He had the army and he put it down. He gave it away twice. He had all the supreme power of the U.S. and he put it aside to do a voting democracy. That's a heroic move. Those are the types of men that we've come to love because they've led to the prosperity of millions. And maybe there's enough humans, right? You don't need to have like a really harsh selection criteria. You can say, yeah, every guy you can have as many kids as you want with whoever you want, but yeah, these girls want to do hypergamy. Like, all those girls who are lesbian are just basically trying to fit into some fucking harem somewhere. They want to be girl number five, which is what you need. You need a strong girls. If you're gonna do a harem, you need a strong girl society underneath it. But yeah, every guy dreams of a harem. You get to have sex with as many beautiful women as you want, give them kids, and then you raise your huge family. It sounds great. It's what Zeus did apparently, but all the guys trying to do that at once, that's where the fight comes from. That's where the turf and that's where the random young man is rolling around bringing everyone else down because he doesn't have room in the world to make his vision a possibility. But yeah, don't think for a second guys don't want a fucking harem and palaces and soldiers. They all want that. They all want that. But they're all covertly trying to get it because you're in a society that forbade it. It's a marriage and worship of God society. And so the fact that the Great Flood is a hoax is so interesting because it means circumcision was invented. And circumcision is it's the way the foreskin works is when the man's dick gets hard, the foreskin acts as like a pleasure catalyst for it does. People who have it love it. They would never trade it. And people who don't have it don't have a choice and they don't know any better. But yeah, what it does though is it's literally like it's an invasive procedure that arrests the consciousness of the man. It does. Circumcision arrests the consciousness of the man, and it's placed, and the revelation to circumcise your young. And the Bible's so mean, it's like circumcision, it treats you like you don't know what it is. Circumcision is done with the hands. You know what I mean? It's like they cut a piece off your dick. And it's 100% guy thinking is all these guys are fucking annoying. I hate every single one of them. Like, I guarantee the biblical author, when he's talking about who's making it and who's not, I guarantee there are zero other men who are making it. Zero. It's all women. It's all his women that are making it. His own little harem. I'm serious. Guys are this way. It's just as the only dream you got is the dream of the harem. And I wish I fought, but yeah, my dad was kind of small. I did have a small dad, but he got my mom because she was just kind of like an isolated loser too. And my mom's pretty. I mean, like she had the attention of lots of Hollywood people. Like I remember growing up. Um, but it was like she chose my dad because I don't know. I don't know. I think she might love him, but who knows? Yeah, it's tough being a guy. My dad is small, but if my dad's small, why am I so big? She used to say it's because her ancestors had that, but maybe she was cheating. Maybe I'm not really my dad's son, you know what I mean? Who knows? But yeah, sex games on Earth. They are the center of our existence. It is. You don't exist long for here if you don't breed properly. You just don't. You're just out. And so the things that are successful are things that led to successful children. One of these is charisma and personality. There's a lot of humans with just awesome personalities because people like them so much they keep them around. They'll always have food, they'll always have shelter, they'll always have love, they'll be able to because people like who they are. And so charisma is obviously the best thing that you need. And I doubt the reincarnation theories because their earth scale is way longer than what we think it is. And it's not clear to me that life is eternal on planet Earth. Like the way they make it sound in like Hinduism is that the shores of the Ganges will be around forever. You know what I mean? That's how they make it sound, and it is not that way. It is not that way. You know, it doesn't take a big time scale switch for humans to start seeing uh, call them events that disrupt our perception of a stable universe. One of those is losing your foreskin. Um, Yeah, sometimes people say it falls off on its own. No, 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 no. Rarely. That thing has a purpose. It's a cover. It's a cover for a sensitive part of your organ. It'd be like having your tongue exposed all the time or having your eyelids exposed all the time. I'm just thankful that humans have been doing circumcision for thousands of years, and so the people who really can't stand it and really hate it have probably died. But I guarantee it's like you're not supposed to cut that piece off. But what it does is it sexually nullifies men. It says you have to work on your character, you have to work on what you have to offer, and you can get married with a woman, and then you shouldn't have a problem reproducing because your penis will still work. It's just like it is an invasion. It's an invasion. It's a and the Bible says it was done to make men lawful. It forces the circumcision forces men to live to the law in the Bible occultly. That's its purpose. And so as knowing the Great Flood is a hoax, it gets very interesting because it was the invention of a man who was pissed off by men. It is keeping other men off my girls. Oh my God! Can you not? Like it's a misery. Like men are miserable if they think other people are with their girls. Fucking hate it. They hate it. Hate it enough to say God told me you should fucking stop. you know and maybe Christianity won evolution. Christianity did win evolution because it's harsh about sex control. Don't make or have any kids you don't care for. And it's 53 minutes. Oh my God, this thing is going. Wow, an hour long lecture. That'd be great. Do an hour long lecture a couple times a day. I played French horn, and I've been a swimmer and stuff like that. I basically can breathe forever. Yeah, I was training all growing up, swimming 2 or 3 laps at a time without breathing once. You know what I mean? Like I even got good at when I was like when your body starts to panic on the breath, you start letting it out slowly. And I would go still doing physical activity all the way until my lungs were empty, empty, before I came back up. And then, I would do that for a couple hours. Then I'd go play French horn, where French horn, you're creating these sustained tones for hours at a time. Like, you're practicing, like, you're not supposed to hear your breath breaks. You're supposed to put your breath breaks into the music in a way that they don't see, that hides them, right? And so I do have a magic power of lung capacity. I can hold my breath forever, and I have lungs. I basically can just talk for hours without needing to breathe. It seems like, circular breathing, timing, and all that. But yeah, it is interesting. Sex games. Sex games, sex games. It doesn't matter what's right, it matters what works. You could say what works is what's right, but that's not always the case. Because there's plenty of absolutely horrendous things that this planet does, such as like parasitic invasive wasps and stuff like that. There's just awful things that this place does that it only does because it works. It doesn't do it because it's nice or good or even kind. It's successful, um, and it's true. If it doesn't breed, if it doesn't win the breeding game, it doesn't go on. That means that you successfully mate with a good mate and you have healthy offspring who then in turn mate as well. That's the requirement, and so not everyone can do it. And some of the traits that do it are just dogged, stubborn horniness. There are just guys that are constantly trying to fuck every girl they know. They don't care who they know, they're going to get it in there. And it's annoying, and so that's why you got circumcision and marriage. It's keep your hands off my shit. Why are you touching my girls? You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm 35 now. I had girls before, but Shannon and Lauren growing up. The thing I learned about my dad, too, or like men, is that a grandpa will throw his grandson under the bus to seem cool with girls. My dad would do that too. If I brought a girl home, I guarantee every insult my dad ever held back, I'd suddenly hear right in front of her. I guarantee it. It's just, and he would try to make a move. He would try to make a move on her. How many people are just like dogs? They're just programmed to do that. They're like, every guy, nature's like, the only successful guys are guys who try to fuck and succeed in fucking every girl they meet. you know? But the long term survival thing is where you get the issue why we have human societies. We go, we can't provide for everyone if there's a ton of fatherless babies popping up because those women aren't going to provide for them. How? With what means? There's no magic hand wave like in the Bible. You have to grow it, produce it, ship it. You can't just have a bunch of stuff for free. That doesn't exist really anywhere in nature. There's are some rare places that truly the land provides all their needs. That doesn't happen. You had the Asian colonizers. They are horse lords, like all those natives that call themselves natives. They're not natives. They're horse lords. They come from Genghis Khan. They have their way of survival is raiding, and they did it to each other, and we know that. And they act like we don't. Every native I've known has acted like I don't know anything about native history, and I know a lot about native history because I have an evidence-based society. I think. How much evidence is really just corporate manipulation. We don't want these pesky fucking natives to have a land claim, so we have to say they're Asian, and maybe I got duped by that, but hopefully not. I would rather it all turn out good, but anyway, will I have hope and satisfaction in life? Yeah, maybe as a philosopher, maybe over time. I hope I do. But am I going to be successful in mating? Not unless the universe conspires to do that for me, which it hasn't done it yet. So, yeah. I have never in convincing men to make vows toward God and convincing men they're touching nature's naughty. That's all wrong 100% except in the idea that, it's not the ejaculations you have that make children. It's rather those kids grow up. And it's rather those kids don't piss off other people, right? A fatherless child who pisses off men he's going to get schwanked. He's going to get fucking out of nowhere he's gonna get fucking corrected. But yeah, and half the people doing the correction are just trying to make room for their own egos, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Humans are not a savory lot, in my experience. They're really not. You wanna make a good impression. You wanna do all that stuff, and then be a passerby, like the Bible says. But being a passerby, it's like the biblical author is making his cult of people. He's saying, you don't do this, you don't do that. They're not like us. Don't talk to them. The Christianity is very clear that you are different than others, and you're not supposed to try to build long connections with others. And it's kind of like, it is kind of socio-narcissistic, and it's some control freak, right? But the alternative is you've just got rampant evolution as it is, which, as I've mentioned probably 50 times in this talk, it's not what's right, it's what works. It's not what's right, it's what's successful. And so, you know, the only people who exist, their ancestors were frisky and they got it on and they were stubborn and they survived no matter what. Those are the only people who exist. The non-frisky people notoriously don't have any kids. That's why I think gays are just a type of social deception. Like, I'm sure there's gay men whose ancestors developed their homosexuality to survive, because you don't have to win a dominance game anymore. Now you're a fruit. Now the alpha male, instead of having a problem, has a nice little shoulder rub and he gets a little ear squeeze or something. And that was way better than having a dude try to take his girl. Besides, I trust him anyway. His girl is fucking, you know, people are just, sex games, sex control games, good breeding. You want to talk about what the English are all about? Good breeding, yeah. Absolutely. You don't pump and dump, and you don't chemically contaminate yourself with horrors. You know what I mean? You keep yourself, and that's smart for disease. And yeah, it's harsh. It's harsh being alive. Not everyone who was made has human beings who are caring for them and looking out for them. You know what I mean? Like, most of them are just completely on their own. They're completely surviving on their own. It's harsh, but because we have rules in society, because the only people who are allowed to participate are law abiding, if you're not law abiding, you go to jail. You go to jail, and if you don't learn your lesson, you're going to keep going back to jail, because we're tired of having warlords. We're tired of having changes of power all the time. We're tired of, an alpha male might succeed in getting a harem and having a bunch of kids. But the moment it comes to providing for those kids, then he's going to need, he's either going to have to transition to being good, or he's going to become a warlord. And there's been plenty of cases of different warlords coming up, and all of a sudden you have a new conflict that didn't even exist before. And so we do like a long-term soulmate meeting. We're supposed to. That's the way it was always described to me, is that you want to meet your soulmate, and then you want to bond, and then you want to have, like, you have many kids with them. You stay with that one person, and you have sex for kids, and you enjoy the process of making great people, who in turn do great things for others, who are kind, who are responsible, who they don't dump litter everywhere. They take care of the environment. They help their neighbors, and that's where society comes in. So there could be a lot of human types. Like, when I was doing physical activity, like, it was hard. All the physical activity I ever did in my life was awful until I tried art, and then I found my calling. Well, I used to find things that say guys with long fingers are intellectuals and guys with short fingers are artists. I got short fingers. I really do. I got these short little fingers. There's only been a few girls I've met who have hands smaller than mine, and besides Asia, you know what I mean? Just like among like big white culture. Um, and yeah, it's also like runaway sex. Like, how much milk does a baby need? Well, who knows? There are tits out to here, thank God. I think the ultimate place of a woman is that I would drink a woman's milk even if I wasn't a baby. Wouldn't that be a great innovation if all the women, all the wives had like constantly overflowing tits, and you could just like get a nourishing drink off of that? That would be amazing. Like, mom is like a source of providing for her whole life. Like, that'd be kind of cool. I would dig that. That would be practical too. Rather than some people who have small tits, whose tits only activate for a short period of time to feed a baby, and then it's solid food. That's how a lot of women are. You know what I mean? I do like the big mommy milker strategy, like 24 snack time 24/7 for anybody. I think that'd just be practical. I don't know. Is that weird? That's what I want. But yeah. And there's been guys like, let's talk about white guys and dick clipping. Because the Bible forbids big penises, it does. It says, women, stop liking guys who are hung like horses. That shit is for making a baby, and that doesn't really matter. And people listened. And so there's a lot of white guys like, I've got a big enough dick. It's like, I don't know anything. Oh, yeah, my phone. My phone is the exact length of it. Yeah. You can't see that, but, it's like whatever it is. So it's that's big enough. But there's guys with dicks. I was in the army. There's guys with dicks as big as a fist, all the way down to their knees and below. You know what I mean? And as people looking at evolution have gone, as they go like, that's unnecessary. We don't need that necessarily all the time to make a kid. That's not, or to even have fun with it. It's not even required. And so there's, what we call shrinko dick, is that your dick, and even my balls can even go inside my body. I felt it before where my whole everything is inside, and it's so you don't get it cut off, so nobody can cut or bite it off, because if you lose that piece, you can't reproduce and you can't succeed. You know what I mean? And that's an issue. And so to not lose that piece, yeah, and to keep it through the shrinko dick, a dick that can totally shrivel and the balls that can totally recede, it means that in an actual combat fight, it wouldn't be a handhold. You wouldn't be able to grab it, you wouldn't be able to twist it, you wouldn't be able to yank it off. I'm sure if you were angry enough, you could like if you want to do a judo move against a dude with a huge dick, jump in, grab a hold of it with both your arms, and take your feet and kick his hips. You could yoink his dick right off his body. That dude would be disqualified from sex for the rest of his life. You could probably beat him with his own penis. But, so that's why it's an evolutionary advantage to have a dick that's big when you need it and small and compact when you don't, is because the other thing is that most guys, if they don't perceive you as a sexual threat, they'll ignore you as a sexual threat. And there's other guys like my dad. My dad uses humor and empathy. My dad can get any woman he wants to because he's funny and has a good sense of timing. His ancestors gave him smooth. You know what I mean? And that's been good enough. There's plenty of girls who are like, I'll hook up with that guy because he's funny. I like him. It's a good trait. People who are nice to be around certainly have a certain type of evolutionary advantage, but it is all about like, bee colonies and ant colonies have specialized types. They're born specialized types, right? And so my type, I hope there's not just like breeder men, because I've always wanted it. I want some. I want my harem action. This shit is hot. But, I wasn't of stature of like a giant warrior. And, when I did physical things, like, I don't think there's any physical work in the universe that's easy. I don't think it's ever been. Maybe it can become easy if you get used to it. But my thing is that that's always was hard. Like, I remember being in the army, right? I'm a champion swimmer. I'm falling out of runs. Like, I can't handle these runs. I am physically, like, not having it, right? I'm just physically not having it. And then, all those things. And then like, when I tried art, all of a sudden I had a click, art and music. And maybe that's what I'm here for. Maybe I am an entertainer or an artist, because it makes sense you'd want artists. They convey ideas. They bring dignity to structures. They make humans feel like they're important and they matter, and etc. But yeah, I got circumcised. I was watching about, like, Roman Catholicism does the circumcision, and the Roman Catholics are the ones who joined the Nazis in World War II. But Rome also had a lead poisoning problem. They didn't know lead was poisonous and caused madness. And so they had lead pipes, lead glasses. The higher rank you were in Roman society, the more lead you used. And so the Romans were mad crucifiers. Like, these were people who were absolutely bludgeoningly insane due to lead poisoning, and then mutilating and torturing other people because of it. It was awful. Circumcision came from that, I believe. I believe circumcision is a type of torture you inflict upon a man through the cruel mutilation of his penis. And number one is it doesn't look like much has happened. If you don't know about the difference between circumcised and uncircumcised, the basic idea is that your glands is supposed to be covered when you're not having sex with your wife, and if they cut it off, it makes your glands uncomfortable and basically a little unhealthy. It's like it'll never work right. Like it's always been a sore spot for me my whole life. And that was done just to curtail the sexual activity of men. It was just men were tired of dealing with men. Men were tired of dealing with men. If you're a man and you have a hot woman, you are never going to have peace from other men, ever. Ever. They're always going to be trying to get in there, and it's annoying. And so that's why circumcision was made. It was made because it was pissing people off. Like, it's getting hard to live here when you got to fight for everything you ever wanted. Oh, be good, be nice, be kind. Ain't none of that shit works in real life. Don't get you the prize. Oh, God'll give it to you on the side. No, he won't. He ain't ever done it yet. God ain't ever given me yet love yet. Not the love I asked for. He said can't find it. And I haven't known any like growing up, right? You had these two chicks next door, Shannon and Lauren. Both gorgeous. I like both of them. But the problem came in not with me liking them. The problem came in with other boys liking them too. And then all of a sudden you have like 5 or 6 houses on the street are at war with me because I said I like Shannon and all the other boys like Shannon too. I took their favorite girl. That's hell. That's not fun, but nature likes it because if it gets all the guys to compete physically, then you get to see who's the real winner. Me as a kid, I just wanted some young love, you know. I couldn't have fought the older boys. They made sure I knew that, you know. Like I'm like 7 and these kids are like 13, 14 with fucking weapons. Yeah. No, these kids, these Jehovah's Witnesses down the street had guns and they would like use them. It was really fucking bad. But yeah, sex games. That's what I'm gonna call this. Sex games. And yeah, that's why you love it. That's why girls are attractive to you. It's so you meet with them. It's not because you love is real. And that's why the Bible says God is love. Is because it's already curtailed. It's already cut a piece of your dick off. And then it says, you know that bliss, you know that ecstasy, you know that love. That's the Lord. You want the Lord. Put the Lord between you, and then you're following all the rules of the book. And saying that God is love is a total twisting of reality. Um, God is not love. I've looked for that. I've never found it. That doesn't exist. But it's said so that you'll stop looking at women and start looking at God. It's just designed. The Bible is 100 the Bible 100% is written by men who are sexually disqualifying other men through covert means. And they know it's covert because where they're trying to get women is on virtue, is on righteousness, is that you can't trust these other guys. They're going down, they're sinful, they're wicked. You know, that's what I saw the priest do to me. Like there were a couple girls I liked. By the way, all the cute girls in mass disappeared after this happened. Is I remember there being several women that I liked that were like really cute in my church. And when I made a move, the priests stopped me. The priests like disqualified me, made fun of me. They cut down my motivations, they cut down my worth, they cut down my validity as a person. They completely eviscerated me, and the reason they did it is that's his girl. You know, you think there's one honest truth in the whole Bible? Not one. He wants the priest, because my dad would tell me too, he's like, that priest who did that's actually secretly married. He's supposed to have a vow, but my dad knew he actually had a wife and a family. And so these people are total charlatans. All the kumbaya hallelujah is just to make you frickin' enjoy the bit they give you. And it's all about having access to they are the wolves in sheep's clothing. You know, it's like people have pointed out. The sheep doesn't need to worry about anybody but the shepherd. It's the shepherd in the end who kills him and eats him. As much as I love this sheep, no, he fucking slits his throat and consumes his body. It ain't good. So anyway, great lecture about sex games from what I've seen and known. If this was interesting to you, leave a comment and a like. And girls have it too. Girls have an innate sense of competitiveness, you know. And there is a bit of a conundrum is that if one girl is too successful, then what she does is she takes all the attention from the other girls, but she doesn't necessarily put it to good use. So people like kind of find that annoying too. We really are best when couples are coupling due to love. They love each other. The woman loves the man because she's going to be spending a lot of time with him, and the man loves the woman. He's loyal to her. He can't see anybody else but her, and they raise kids together in a way that's successful. That's the human family we go for. We don't go for the pump and dump, and we don't go for the massive harem of the king, because that only benefits the king. That doesn't benefit anybody else. He'll be betrayed by his own men because as soon as he goes as all mine or else, he has to use fear to keep that or else going, and that's only temporary, and that's dirty too. That's like when people finally come for your family and your descendants, they'll get revenge because they remembered how you got it, right? Anyway, yeah, that's what I want. I want my soulmate, best soulmate I could ever have, only eyes for me, and just to pump out kids all day like it's fun. You know what I mean? So, yeah, good vibes. And let's talk about like the difference between like anorexic and fat, right? So anorexic skinny chicks, I think, is born of the starvation culture of, like the Jeffrey Epstein's and people like that. Religion has starvation too. It's all to weaken the female. Is to have a skinny, weak female is easier to cow and control and manipulate, because It really is true. If you're like really hungry and really thin, like you're just kind of easy to push around. Um, and so that's why they like it. But the truth is a big woman is like, I don't know, they're like squishy. It feels great. It feels great to get a good hug from a big woman. Like better than a skinny girl will ever do. And it's also the only place where babies get food. Is they need to have, you need to have stockpiles of energy to raise a kid and have enough and go through all that. So, and that's the only thing that succeeds. Non-breeding humans don't go on. They don't go on. And so in a way, nature doesn't want you to know much about what it's doing. It's like, just be a happy idiot. Just storage low. I gotta cut it off. But yeah, 11657. Cut it off. Unfortunate joke. But yeah, that's sex games according to Chris. This is what I've noticed about humans. They are deeply territorial. They all act like there's not enough, and they all want what everyone else wants. And it's a big fight. And religion and circumcision and the law and all that was designed to make people happy with what they have. And you know, the ultimate of being a man is to fall in love with a woman your whole life, and to spend your whole life with her, and to have great kids that go on to prosper as well. You don't wanna have a ragtag shambles Mad Max society, because then that sucks. Because until you're starving and without any safe place, you're not going to really appreciate like how good it is to be able to go to a grocery store and have food there. You know what I mean? Like that's important, and that only comes from a society of obedient good people. Massive stockpiles of supplies will only ever come from societies that are harmonized, societies that are balanced. It will never come from raider societies. It'll be in raider societies, but it'll come at the costs of everyone else. And so humans like hate that. You ever get a paper cut? Sucks. Don't do that to others. People who think they can do that to others and get away with it, I curse you. May you have it come back. Um, People who are good and have good intentions, I bless you. May you thrive. May you have your dreams come true. You know. But this was all spurned by a young man coming to my page saying he can't understand me, not make any sense. I go to his page. He's just a young 16-year-old guy. He's like a tiny little effeminate boy. So effeminate boys mean he's not getting any on the side. He's not getting any, and he's basically just trying to fight for dominance online, like trying to knock me down and make an issue so he can get some attention, and it's annoying. It's like you ever see a silverback? Silverbacks will fight other silverbacks because then it's fair. But a silverback will never fight a tiny male. A tiny beta male, he'll never fight him. He doesn't. He'll kill him. He can't. It's like beyond the code of being the alpha. You're not supposed to become In gorilla society, you're not supposed to tear other gorillas limb from limb. You're supposed to provide a space for them to be protected because he is looking out for the tribe, right? And yeah, the silverback alphas I do love. I actually love them. I don't think they're that bad. I think they're really cool. But yeah, it is not the big gorillas don't always challenge big gorillas. It's the little gorillas will go up and challenge big gorillas, and they get annoying. Annoying. The alpha will always move away. He'll always run. He'll always run. The alpha will always run, and you can't laugh at look, the alpha ran from that little guy. He's running so he doesn't destroy him. He doesn't kill him. He doesn't. He sees him as his own. He doesn't want to hurt him. He doesn't want to destroy him. So my thoughts. I do. I do. I was alpha growing up. I've been alpha for a lot of guys. And it's just because that's my attitude. That's my attitude. But I'm more interested in what causes a good grounded